Good afternoon, students. Welcome to 7th Standard Social class. Students, we are going to see a new lesson in Geography, Unit 2, Landforms. Students, nowadays we can see variety of landforms on the Earth's surface. There are some mountains, valleys, plateaus, seashores, river valley sites, etc. How these landforms are formed. In this lesson, we are going to know the landforms which are created by the river and the landforms which are created by the glacial action, wind action, and the sea waves. Let me start the lesson. In the earlier class, we have learned that the surface of the earth is not the same everywhere. Throughout our planet, the landforms are not uniform. In some places, it has high mountain. In some places, it has low plain. And in some places, it has some hilly area, plateaus area, like that. The earth has an infinite variety of landforms named mountain, plateaus, plains, valley, etc. Some parts of the lithosphere may be rough, it may be very strong and high places, and some are flat. These landforms are of a result of two processes: the endogenic process and exogenic process. The endogenic process is the internal process. It leads to uplift, increase, come out, and sinking of the earth's surface at several places. This is we have studied in our first lesson. The exogenic process is an external process and continuous wearing down and rebuilding of land surface. Our land surface are wearing down, eroding, and depositing like that. Gradation is a process of leveling of high land. Gradation means it's a process. In this process, some natural agent they level the land. The high lands become into low flat land, and the very low plains are become a level one through deposition. Gradation is the process of leveling of high land through erosion. By the process of erosion, high lands become into normal height, and the low land they get deposition, they fill up the soil particles and it become a level one. Landforms. The landscape is being continuously worn away by two processes. Note this one: weathering and erosion. Weathering. What is the meaning of weathering? It's nothing but breakdown of rock into small pieces, breaking and falling apart into small pieces of the rock on the earth's surface. So weathering is nothing but break up of or breakdown of the rock. A big rock break into a small minute particles that we call weathering. Erosion is the wearing away of the landscape by different agents like water, wind, ice, and sea waves. So erosion is a wearing away the rock particles from one place to another place by the agent like water, wind, ice, and sea waves. We can see that in sea waves, the sea waves they are eroding the materials, they are transported from one place to another place and put into another place. The eroded material is carried away by water, wind, etc. and eventually deposited. This process of erosion and deposition create different landforms on the earth's surface. So because of the process of erosion, various landforms are formed because of two processes, erosion and deposition. Now we will see the work done by the river and what are the landforms created by the river. The water flowing from its source to river mouth along a definite course is called a river. The water is falling from a highland from its source to river mouth along a definite course in a definite direction. It goes in a definite direction. This is we call river. Rivers generally originated from a mountain or hill. Note this one. The rivers are originated or starting from a mountain or hill. Students, you see this picture. The rivers are starting from a mountain. The starting point is called a river source. Then it's fall down. When it fall down, it is called as waterfall. And it goes in a definite direction. That process we call river. And lastly, it join into ocean. So this is the river course. The place of origin of the river is known as source. The starting point of the river is called source. The place where the river joins a lake or sea or ocean is known as river mouth. First you know the word which is source, which is river mouth. Now we see that picture. The starting point, the river starts from a mountain. This is called source. And lastly it joined into ocean. This is called the river mouth. The starting point river source and ending point is called river mouth. The running water in the river erode the landscape. The river starting from the mountain. So the rivers, they are doing the work, erosion work. It eroded the mountain rock materials and it created a steep sided valley like a letter V known as V-shaped valley. You see this picture? This is we call V-shaped valley. Because of the erosion work, this landform are formed. This is V-shaped valley. Now we will see what means tributary and distributary. A stream or river that flows into and join a main river this is called tributary. If a river that flows and join into main river, it is called tributary. A stream that branches off and flow away from a main stream is called distributary. You see this picture, which is called tributary. You see that a tributary, a small river join into main river. Another small river, a small water body that is joined into main river course. This is called tributary. Distributary you see here, when it join into ocean, it divided into some other channels, small channel. All the rivers are joined into some sea, ocean like that. When they join, before they join into ocean, it is divided into number of channels, small waters, small stream like that. This is we call distributary. Now we will see what is meant waterfall. Falling of river water over a vertical step in the riverbed is called waterfall. So falling of river in a vertical direction, it is called waterfall. What is the meaning of a river source? The starting point of a river is called river source. So from the mountain, the waters is falling down. This is we call waterfall in a vertical direction. It is formed when the soft rock are removed by erosion. So here one process is taking. Erosion process. The soft rocks are removed by the waterfall. Removed by the erosion process. Example, Kutralam Fall across the river Chittar in Tamil Nadu. Note this one. Kutralam Falls. It is formed across the river Chittar in Tamil Nadu. The highest waterfall is Angel Falls of Peninsula in South America. The other waterfalls are Niagara Falls, located on the border between Canada and USA in North America, and Victoria Falls on the borders of Zambia and Zimbabwe in Pacific. Next, Plunge Pool is a hollow features at the base of a waterfall. The waterfalls, they fall down on the floor On the floor, a low level land was created. Land is created. The low pool, like it seems like a pool. This is we call plunge pool, which is formed by cavitation. Alluvial fan is a deposition of sediment course at which the river enters a plain or foothills. So alluvial fan means is a deposition. It is formed by deposition work of the river. Deposition of sediment occurs at which the river enters a plain or foothills. Students, you see this picture. This is a high land, or it may be a mountain, like that. Its upper part is covered by hard rock, and below that soft rocks are there. The water is falling down from the upper rock. The hard rock is not eroded, only the soft rocks are eroding. So the falling down from a high point to the lower point, bottom, is known as waterfall. And plunge pool you see here, when the water falling down and they reach the places, it forms some pools like that. This is we call plunge pool. And students, this river hose, it seems like some bendings or that. You see some S-shaped rivers are here, isn't it? This is we call meander. As the river enters the plain, it twists and turns. You see here, when the river enters the plains, the green shaped area we call plain, it twists and turns are here. So many bendings are here. This is we call meander. Examine meander along the river Vellar near Sethiyathorpe in Kadalur. Due to continuous erosion and deposition along the sides of the meander, the ends of the meander loop becomes closed and closer. You see these pictures. First, there is a small bending of circle is there. When the circle comes close to each other, a round circle is formed. This is we call lake. In due course of time, the meander loops cut off from the river and forms a cut-off lake, and also called an oxbow lakes. This is we call oxbow lakes. The meander comes to close and close. Automatically, it cut from the main river and automatically form some lake. This lake we call oxbow lake. The term meander has been named on the basis of Meander river of Asia Minor, that is in Turkey. It flows through numerous curves and turns. In meander, we can see so many curves. At times, the river overflows its banks. This leads to the flooding of neighboring area. When the river overflows, the volume of water increase, that leads to flooding in the area. As the river floods, it deposits a layer of fine soil. When the floods occurs, it brings all the fine soil materials and other material called sediment. The soil and other materials is called sediment along its banks. This leads to the formation of flat, fertile floodplain. So this is we call floodplain. It is contained fully fertile soil. The raised banks are called levees. As the river approaches the sea, the speed of the flowing water decreases. All the rivers, they join into sea. The joining point is called river mouth. So in the river mouth, the speed of the water will become low. The speed of the water decreases and the river begin to break up into number of streams. The main river, they divided into numerous streams. A small water body is known as distributary. The velocity of the river becomes so slow that it begins to deposit is low. So the speed of the water become low, it began to deposit its solid soil particles and other minerals. Each distributary forms its own mouth. The collection of sediments from all the mouth form delta. The collection of the sediment from all the mouth. In the mouth, the landforms are created. That name was delta. Deltas are excellent productive land. They have more minerals which favor for agriculture or cultivation. The Kaveri Delta, Ganges Delta, Mississippi Delta, these are the example for delta. Students, you see these pictures when the river entered into plain. So many bends are formed here. That bends we call meander. And the rivers is going to join with the sea. Before entering into sea, it is divided into number of channels, streams like that. That streams we call distributary. Before entering into sea, it deposited all the soil materials and other minerals here. That area we call delta. This is we call delta. Students, we conclude this lesson up to this. The remaining part will be seen in the next class. Today I will give some 2 marks. You copy in your class note and study well. Thank you.